Good morning, everyone. My name is Stein Gjessing. I'm a professor of computer science here at the Department of Informatics in the University of Oslo. And it's my pleasure to lead this ceremony. We are gathered here today to unveil a new IEEE milestone plaque. The IEEE milestone program honors significant technical achievements in all areas associated with the IEEE. Milestones recognize the technological innovation and excellence for the benefit of humanity found in unique products, services, seminal papers, and patents. Each milestone recognizes a significant technical achievement that occurred at least 25 years ago in an area of technology represented in the IEEE. After recommendation by the IEEE History Committee and approval by the IEEE Board of Directors, a bronze plaque commemorating the achievement is placed at an appropriate site with an accompanying dedication ceremony. Milestones are proposed by an IEEE member and are sponsored by an IEEE organizational unit, such as an IEEE section, in this case the IEEE Norway section. I would very much like to thank Professor Svein Stølen for his effort that has resulted in this ceremony here today. 5 years ago, he started working for this moment. He has worked tirelessly all these years until he finally got the IEEE Board of Directors to approve this milestone. I would also like to thank the rest of the committee that proposed this milestone: Olaf Ove, Bjarte Østvold, Knut Hegna, and Jenny Olsson. We have three speakers here today in this ceremony, and the official unveiling of the plaque will be performed by the last speaker. First, it is my great pleasure to give the word to the rector of the University of Oslo, Svein Stølen.
So, ladies and gentlemen, friends of science and education, it's a great pleasure to welcome you to the University of Oslo, to the Department of Informatics, and to the house of Ole-Johan Dahl. It is indeed a great day. We are celebrating the 50th anniversary of one of the greatest inventions of Norway. That's important. It's all about two extraordinary persons in reality, Kristen Nygaard and Ole-Johan Dahl. And it started early on the 60s, and they started even before. But in the early 60s, Kristen Nygaard was the research director at the Norwegian Computing Center. He was involved in projects that required advanced mathematical simulations and soon realized that it was difficult to formulate these problems using any of the existing programming languages at that time. At the end of the 50s, Kristen was employed as a mathematician at the Norwegian Defense Research Establishment, where he met and cooperated with Ole-Johan Dahl. He underwent his compulsory military conscription at the computing office. And Kristen persuaded Ole-Johan to join him at the Norwegian Computing Center for helping him to develop this assimilation language. And this was indeed the start of Simula, which evolved into a full-fledged programming language and language construction that should turn out to be extremely versatile and robust. The central concept in the language were called objects and inheritance, and provided a way of organizing and building software that should turn out to be revolutionary. Simula version 1.0 was presented in 1967, 50 years back, but it took, as it often does in science, I guess, quite some time before the community realized the significance of Simula. and the term object-oriented programming. This term was coined not before the end of the 80s. Then it became generally known, appreciated among computer scientists. Object-oriented programming has since the 90s been the prevailing paradigm for computer programming. A majority of the most popular and widespread programming languages today are using object-oriented programming models. In 1968, Ole-Johan Dahl became a professor of the University of Oslo and was paramount to the establishment and the development of the Department of Informatics. And this department celebrates its 40-year anniversary this year. It has grown from a tiny department to the largest at the faculty. A great success. Later, Kristen Nygaard also became a professor at our department. Kristen Nygaard and Ole-Johan Dahl received the Rosing Honorary Award in 1998 as the first award winners. In 2000, they were appointed Commander of the Order of St. Olav, and they received the John von Neumann Medal in 2001, and not at least the Turing Award, the Nobel Prize of Informatics in 2002. This is indeed a proud part of the history of the University of Oslo. And we see that informatics has grown into a subject of great importance for the whole university and for the whole society. Informatics and data science is important today and will be even more important in the years to come. We'd also like to mention this year's Shanghai ranking, which is very positive for the Department of Informatics. Indeed, this department is ranked as number 12 in the world. And that's quite an, how to say, it's a very good ranking, of course, internationally, totally, globally. So this implies, I guess, that the legacy of Ole-Johan Dahl and Kristen Nygaard has been nurtured over the years. And we should continue to nurture the legacy of these two extremely clever computer scientists and use them as inspiration for the Department of Informatics, for the Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Sciences, and also for the University of Oslo. So congratulations, it's a great day.
Thank you. The next speaker is the Managing Director of the Norwegian Computing Center, Lars Holden.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to participate in this unveiling of the IEEE Milestone plaque. Is it the first such plaque in Norway, the third in Scandinavia? It recognized the importance of the Simula language. Simula was a scientific breakthrough. It represented something completely new. It was created by persons from the Stone Age of the computer science. They were able to see the needs for the coming decades. This was at a time where computer storage and computer speed were very different from today. When I started at the computing center 17 years later, we still had a lot of cabinets for punch cards. So it says something about the development from that time. Dahl and Nygaard were motivated by representing the real world on a natural manner in the computer. If you have a queue of persons, there are some attributes that describe the person in each queue, the name and the age, and they wanted to represent this as a person, not necessarily as a part of the queue. And then we also, and these attributes, they are describing the person also when the person has left the queue. And when we talk about the person, we need to differentiate whether we talk about the first person in the queue or the person that at some time was in the first place in the queue. So this was the genius abstraction at the time when only the use of computers were only used to arithmetics. So it's really a genius invention from that time. In addition to the idea of the object, they were able to develop a compiler that was able to use the object in the computer. In my generation, we learned to program in using Simula, which was much more advanced than all the computing languages at the time. When we later had to merge to Fortran or C, this was definitely not a step forward. Nygaard and Dahl showed that it was possible to make invention at a small institute in a small country far from the giants. At this distance, it was probably not possible that Simula would be the dominating programming language. They were too far from the leading countries. But the idea survived and has copied in almost all programming language today. Objects are the basis for all modern computer language. So we are proud of our two legendary scientists, Ole-Johan Dahl and Kristen Nygaard. And they were supported by several persons, at that time young men, mostly men, and some women, and some of them are present here today. So all congratulate with it today. Thank you.
Thank you. The final speaker that will also unveil the plaque is the Vice Chair of the IEEE Norway section and a professor at NTNU, Kaveh Niayesh.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all on behalf of IEEE Norway for being present at the unveiling ceremony for the first IEEE milestone in Norway. So my name is Kaveh Niayesh. I'm a professor of electric power engineering at the Norwegian University of Science and Technology, so NTNU, and serve as the vice chair of the IEEE Norway section. IEEE, so this is the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, is one of the largest professional organizations in the world, with more than 380,000 members in over 160 countries. It has been formed as a merge of AIEE, so the American Institute of Electrical Engineering, and IRE, so Institute of Radio Engineers, in 1963. And in the same year, the Norway section has been established. Norway section is now part of the region 8 in the IEEE organization. So we have 10 geographic regions in the IEEE. So the first 6 are in the United States, region 7 in Canada, region 8 is the largest one, covering all the European, African, Middle East countries, region 9 and 10 South American and Asian Pacific countries. According to the last membership development report, Region 8 has about 78,000 members in 52 sections, and IEEE Norway section is one of those sections with about 950 active students and regular members. So this is very short to IEEE. And we have very, very different activities in IEEE. So IEEE supports many different technical activities related to computer and electrical engineering, and in some cases related to some multidisciplinary fields. For example, in Norway, we have 8 technical chapters in many different technical directions: power and energy, power electronics, microwave theory and technology, industry applications, and a few more. And we are also initiating a new chapter on computer, and this is, I think, very important and probably of interest for you, because you are also very actively involved in this society and could also contribute to that. IEEE Milestones program is part of the IEEE historic activities, and this honors significant achievements, technical achievements, in all related fields to IEEE. So as Professor Gjessing said, so IEEE milestones recognize the technical innovations and excellence for the benefit of humanity in all related technical fields, if these are formed in form of a product, service, a patent, a paper. There are not so many IEEE milestones. So we have only 180 IEEE milestones worldwide, among them 3 in Germany, 1 in Sweden, and 1 in Denmark. So the one in Denmark was related to pulse on arc transmitter from 1902, and that has been unveiled 1994. And the one in Sweden was related to Gotthard HVDC, so high voltage direct current link, from 1954, and that was unveiled almost 4 months ago on 17th of May 2017. So you see, this is very important that we have not so many IEEE milestones. And we can also see that many technological breakthroughs, for example, Maxwell equations, or detection of the electromagnetic waves, they have also been awarded by IEEE milestones. So this shows the fact that the IEEE milestone is a very prestigious award and recognition. I'm very proud and very happy that after dedicated work of many, many individuals, Norway has been awarded its first IEEE milestone. So the first IEEE milestone in Norway is to recognize the significant achievements by the development of the first object-oriented programming language, namely Simula. I'm personally not an expert in this field, but I'm sure that we will see and we'll hear and we'll get invaluable information and insights into the field, into different aspects of this technological innovation during the technical session this afternoon. Let me conclude my short speech by thanking all the individuals involved in the process of application for getting this milestone to Norway, and the celebration committee for organizing this event. So this is a very, very welcome situation that we can unveil the IEEE milestone plaque exactly at the 50th anniversary of Simula. Please join me wishing Simula another 50 successful years.
Thank you.